Okay, all right, it is 10 o'clock. This is December 17th. Gilliam County regular court meeting, and we're in Arlington today. The meeting's called to order. A quorum has been established because all county court members are present, and we will now have the flag salute. I allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. All right, do we have any additions or revisions to the agenda? No additions or revisions. Okay. Correspondence and public comment. We'll begin with public comment. Do we have anyone present who would like to comment today that doesn't have a regular agenda item? And do we have anyone online? No. Okay. All right, so we have under items of correspondence within your packet, we have a special projects report, final report from the Arlington Saddle Club. And one thing I want to note on that report is some feedback they provided. Did you read that feedback?
Yes.
And I just think we may want to consider something, some way to adjust. I think they have a valid point that the North and Special Project Fund has built, but yet the amount that they can access is only $7,500, and in the past they were able to access more money. So we might want to, Brooklyn actually had mentioned maybe we need to explore a little bit of variance and maybe increasing the request potential amount.
Do you recall what it was, the original high amount, or?
Well,
or I could get with Brooklyn.
yeah, we'll have to find out from her, and I don't know if she'll mind. She may not know that.
Okay.
She's but you could
I'll check with
ask her.
I just kind of
Yeah.
I don't remember this have been said.
Right. We didn't verify what they said here. I mean, at least I didn't, maybe she did, but anyway, I thought it was something for us to consider.
I will comment on that. I think that the Saddle Club has done an excellent job of working on those grounds and doing all the stuff they've done in the past. It looks great when you drive by. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah, that gravel that they got, I think that's gonna help a lot for the parking and everything else there.
The wind.
All the neighbors and yeah.
Well, everybody has bigger trailers and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So 3.2 treasurer's report for October 25 is within your packet. Is there any comments on that? Okay.
Didn't have any.
Items under 4.0 consent agenda, there are a lot of items. Are we comfortable with leaving all those on the consent agenda? Or did you have anything that you wanted to ask specifically about? 4.1 is consider appointment of the Gilliam County Budget Officer. 4.2 is the budget calendar for 26-27. 4.3 is designation of depositories and newspaper of record. 4.4 is the Oregon Department of Forestry IGA, amendment number 1. 4.5, consider approval of agreement with IES for courthouse monitoring. 4.6, consider approval of agreement with GOBI for non-emergent medical transport through Gilliam County Transportation. 4.7, consider board and committee appointments for 2026. 4.8, consider library grant submittal request form. 4.9, consider approval of CAPCO service agreement for funding of mill site program, which is a monthly request at this point. We're going to see those monthly. This is for December. 4.10, consider approval of commercial lease renewal for Interstate Concrete and Asphalt, which is at the industrial park. That's just a continuation of the agreement.
And is the IES Communications, is that a continuance?
Yes,
That's who's doing it now?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
One question on 4.9, it was page 5. With the Capco, it says the agreement will terminate on December 31st, 2025. Is that supposed to be 26?
Nope, it's a month. We're gonna see those every month.
Oh, we are.
We just
Okay.
did one at the last meeting for November and October.
I was
I
trying
know.
to recall and,
Yeah,
huh,
so really we're
okay,
2 weeks in, but it's for this month, yeah.
okay.
Do you know if that's due to federal funding, or do you know why they're doing it like that now?
I don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. We can ask, Sabrina Wagner about the reason for that. Okay. So.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second the motion.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda for no discussion. No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. That was a big section of our agenda, just this consent agenda. Okay, we have unfinished business. 5.1, discuss possible next steps for insulation improvement programs. Eli Caudill, is that how you pronounce your last name? Okay, Eli, would you like to come up? First of all, I apologize, Eli, we had discussed potentially having this on an earlier agenda, but we ended up with our agendas were large and we just needed to push something off, so I apologize.
No problem.
As you remember, Eli came to us with a proposal. He has an update for us. He actually met with me individually, and I just encouraged him to come back if he had some more definite plans for a proposal to see if we're interested in what he has to say and joining partner with them.
So after the last meeting, I was encouraged to meet up with Leah Shannon and Pioneer CDC to see if they would be willing to, if funds did become available, if they would be willing to receive and disperse those funds. I met with them close to a month ago, I believe, and it still sounds that they're interested in doing it. They would have to come up with some new participation agreements for that. So there would be a process in order to do that. It was mentioned at one point that about 20 years ago, a lot of the income qualified people living in houses, if people were houses that were occupied by people that were income qualified, received some funds to get their houses insulated about 20 years ago. So that might limit the number of houses that are available. I did talk to some people who have access to data on these, and there are suggestions that there are single family houses still in the Arlington area that would benefit from this, that have heat pumps still. So I'm still very interested in doing that. I believe that Energy Trust of Oregon and other entities might have additional funding that could be available. I think this could help set up the county to better access some of those funds available as well. There's potential that if funds from Oregon Department of Energy do become available in 2026. Again, this would help set up the county to recognize that those funds are available and access some of those funds as well. So I think it would put the county in a good position to understand what the benefits from doing this would be. And I did mention to you, I think in the previous meeting, I suggested about $25,000 for 2 houses. It's potentially closer to 15,000 per house if they need lots done. But if they only need a couple of things done, obviously it would be less. Some of the funds for houses that are served by Pacific Power could get would get additional funds from Energy Trust of Oregon for those as well.
So what you're asking is if Gilliam County would provide the funding for the weatherization, basically a pilot for 2 homes, correct?
Correct.
Up to $30,000. And then the funds would go through Pioneer CDC
Correct.
and they would, manage the program. There would have to be an agreement between the county and Pioneer CDC.
Right. And then the Pioneer CDC and the homeowners as
Okay.
well.
Right.
Correct. Yes. And it would be a study. I'd hope to get a case study for
Mhm.
this also to show if you are experiencing high bills, here's where you could be with it, basically, is when I want to do this with
Mhm.
this. So,
It's interesting because it kind of dovetails on the message they have down at AOC about how our power industry is gonna be sorely lacking by the year 2030, so.
Mhm.
I'm separately concerned about that as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we were all concerned too after we listened to
Yeah.
that down there, so.
Mhm. And I'm also interested in figuring out if there are ways to keep money into the county instead of sending it to the corporation that owns Pacific Power as well. So ultimately, it would be nice to get some trades out here who can do that work instead of having to send to Portland or Hermiston or other places to import the people to do that work
The
as
challenge
well.
of getting trades to come out here now.
Correct.
Everything's
Yes.
going on. I guess my thoughts are that some of the businesses are not as hungry. They have enough work locally.
Mhm.
So the travel is making it a
Mhm.
little tougher.
Correct. Yeah.
Travel time, excuse me.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. When I spoke to a contractor in the Portland area about the idea to do this, and they said that if there's more than one house with more than one thing to do, that they would send a crew to do it.
Was
So
there a
as well.
comment from mine?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Rob, go ahead.
Is it Rob Turi?
I'm not sure. It just says Rob.
Mhm.
No, he raised his hand.
it's like last time we had a thing here.
So we're down.
Well,
No, it's through that.
But I mean,
not sure why we can't hear him.
We could ask him if he would like to chat.
I'm gonna promote him to panelist. Maybe you can do it.
Okay.
And I'm sure he'd have more detailed information about their take on this. I would hope they would.
Should be through here. I don't know if he's talking or not. This wasn't working, unfortunately. I don't know if it's the internet or
Yeah.
something was wrong with the smart board. Does he, Rob, do you want to type your message in the chat and I can read it out? Assuming you can hear me.
Phone number.
he can
The
call
purpose
my
of our-
number if he wants.
The purpose of this today is to decide if we as a body are interested in moving forward with the next step, which would be then creating an agreement with Pioneer CDC if they're interested. Because we haven't talked to them directly,
Right.
so that would be the next step.
He just wanted to verify that the Pioneer CDC is willing to administer funds and the pilot study.
He said yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
great,
Cool.
good.
So if we were to do this, where are you thinking,
Economic enhancement. We have housing funds. We also have general economic development funds.
okay.
And part of it for me is we need new housing. We need to build housing, but we also need to care for the housing that we already have. And make it as energy sufficient as it can be as well. So not only the energy side of it, it also is keeping the housing stock we have viable.
Correct.
So your thoughts on like a $30,000 pilot program,
Mm-hmm.
and you said IGA or something?
Yeah, it would be MOU probably. Yeah. There's existing MOUs with Pioneer CDC through their housing programs and other funding, so we can model it. So the three of us could work together, Rob you and I, if we're interested in pursuing this, to get it drafted and then brought back.
I'm good with it.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, so we will go ahead and proceed
All right.
and pursue this. Come back with an agreement, which would be official action. I don't know if we'll be able to get it done by the January 7th meeting, but we'll try.
Okay,
And
I'll be
if not,
available.
because I know you were saying earlier February, you were hoping to be able to study this winter.
I was hoping so,
Uh-huh.
but I do know that from talking to Rob and everyone there, that it will take some time to create not just the agreement with you, but what's needed with the owners.
Yeah, I'd be a little tight for
Might,
this.
probably,
Yeah.
but it will still be.
Oh,
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, 5.2, at a prior meeting, last meeting, we discussed what financial reports do we want to see as a group. We did reach out to some other counties and have some information. Jefferson County has some great financial reports. Then they also use Caudill that we may be interested in modeling after. I think there's been feedback that maybe we'd like to see more data, more information. Potentially, show us that, how our reconciliations going, interest distribution happening more frequently. And showing us that, potentially balance sheet, trial balance. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess my thoughts, I was, looked at Morrow counties also, and there was some good information I liked there that they were doing, and, but yeah, I would still like to kind of, look at some other stuff.
Okay,
And I guess that's my feeling.
Sure.
And, I think our whole main goal is to improve ours and, make it, so. But yeah, I would like a little more time to
Okay,
look
all right, good.
things over more.
Have you looked at Jefferson County?
Yes. Yeah, and I just think it's so important to see that current, up to date, and I know that we're working on and getting there eventually, but it's just like with Norcor. They've got things really good lined up, your budget where you see where everything's at, the revenues, expenses. And but yeah, I think there's a little room for improvement on ours, and which one the way to go, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, where are we at on the interest distribution?
Okay, thanks. The treasurer says on the interest distribution, let me see what he said in his note. I think what we may want to have, I believe we should have him come talk with us. As I understand it, and I don't want to speak for the treasurer, is he online? Okay. The prior program did the interest distribution. Caudill, they are building a program, but there's a way to do it just with a spreadsheet. So I think we need to just accept the fact that it's taking too much time to get the program built and see monthly interest distribution through the spreadsheet, through Excel. And request that.
Yeah, even if you just saw it in the general fund,
Yeah, you could see that it was allocated each month.
well, you could at least see that the interest that we received is there.
Yeah.
Whether it's allocated later to.
Yeah, and then if there has to be any adjustments, I would think that those could be made, at the end. Rather than waiting till the end to have just one interest adjustment once a year, because we don't know how it's doing along the way. We know generally, but not for fun. So we can make that request, and there may be more reasons why that I'm not completely aware of, but that's what I would like to see.
So, yeah, because I don't understand how you can reconcile the LGIP and not have the interest somewhere.
I think it's on the report. Yes, next report, and I think we
It's
should
on,
have
it's on the the bank account balances and those
Mhm.
that he types out on a little spreadsheet, but it's not in the Cassell.
Right,
Yeah, that's just the statement. from
right.
The funds showing the interest.
So, and
The issue with the automation of interest distribution, this is what he says in that note, in Cassell remains unresolved. The 24-25 interest was distributed manually to prepare us for our annual financial audit. I still hope for more automated solutions that at least could, so that's where I say we need to accept the fact that if by now we don't have an automated solution, we need to just use Excel to distribute the interest until we have one and not see it until then. So, and we also have, Autumn Ackerman, who is our, person at the courthouse who can help anyone, and that's something she could assist with. So we may want to put the treasurer on the next agenda to talk to us about the interest. Would we like to do that? Sure. Did he ever join the call, on the line?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to give him a chance to address it if he did. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do a little more research. Continue to gather information, and then we'll share that with you. So that you can see the reports and you can do your own research as well, so we can arrive on what we wanna do.
Okay.
Okay, new business. Consider adoption of resolution 2025-17 to establish the wolf depredation advisory committee and consider committee member appointments. Okay, so what happens here is we put out information. I'll say Anya's worked really hard on this, and this has been an interesting process to go through. Most counties that have wolf depredation committees already have them established. And so we don't have a lot of available information on getting one going. So we're kind of having to do a lot of digging, correct? So we do know that the committee is a 4-person committee initially. We had 6 people put in applications. It took a while to get people to realize that we needed more people. You need 2 people. Where is that language about the 2? I don't want to mess it up.
remember
Two.
to
Manage livestock, yeah. And then 2 who on the conservation or coexistence with wolfside, right?
Yeah.
So as you can see,
Well, and I'm sorry, in your briefing, it doesn't say, I know Connie and Sue and Jim, Heidi were all for the conservation side.
okay,
The other 3 were all, well,
Okay.
I'm not sure about Jeff McMorrin.
okay,
But obviously the Campbells are livestock producers.
So
Okay.
you said Connie Anderson, Joseph Campbell, and
No, Connie, Sue and Jim Heidi were all on the conservation side and we need 2.
Okay.
And Jim McMorrin never stated, I asked and he never stated which side he wanted to, cause you
Okay.
have two for each side,
Mhm.
basically.
and then the Jason and Joseph Campbell were on the
Yeah,
producer
they're the
side.
producers, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, let me clarify, we do have the resolution. We could start with the
Mhm.
resolution.
Yeah.
And then discuss the appointments if you wanted to do that.
The resolution creates the committee
Yeah,
and then the appointments would.
Okay. so there's 2 suggested motions.
I'll do motion 1. I'll move to approve resolution R 2025-17. Establishing the Gilliam County Wolf Depredation Advisory Committee as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution R 2025-17. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, what are the appointments?
Well, the obvious is Jason and Joseph for the
Right.
livestock.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's another point. once the committee is established, two people from, is it from the business side?
Business representatives.
Business representatives will be appointed by the four-member committee.
Well,
So-
and I believe Leah, you already had, or excuse me, Commissioner Watkins, you'd already said you were interested in being on that committee, so there would be the five of you
Oh,
initially.
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Commissioner.
So one more after that. Okay.
no, sorry, it's there's 7 people
Okay,
on the
so
committee.
commissioner and 6.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
All right, so what I'm pointing out is whoever we don't select potentially could have business interests that they may be appointed later. You see what I'm saying? By the committee.
So,
I believe Sue Greer was the first person to put their name in for the conservation side, so I would
If you want to go that way, the last 2 were Mr. Heidi and Mr. McMorrin. If you want to go for first interest.
Well, I was leaning towards Connie Anderson just because she's from the north end. And she's the only one on there, except for I don't know where Jeff
yeah.
McMorrin
Mhm.
lives.
Okay, she is, you're right, that's true, she is on the north end.
so you're thinking for, conservation, Connie Anderson and Sue Greer?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
And then for the livestock would be Jason Campbell and Joseph Campbell.
mhm.
And commissioner would be Commissioner Watkins.
Yeah, but do we appoint the commissioner at this time? I mean, or will we do that once? I mean, she's already
I don't
expressed
know.
interest, so.
Yeah, I don't know that you need to.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
we'll just do this part, okay.
Any more, we're ready? I'll make a,
Do we feel we're finished with the discussion, Commissioner Watkins?
I just, I was reading the resolution. Yeah, because,
One county commissioner.
yeah, I think I've already been, I was already appointed at that,
Right.
so you just need the 4. You want me to do that, Brent?
I'll do it, okay. I move to appoint Jason Campbell and Joseph Campbell as the 2 members of Manage Livestock. And I would like to move Connie Anderson and Sue Greer as conservation, two members for that as presented.
With terms ending.
Oh, the terms ending 12/31/29.
So will they all end at the same time, Anya?
Yeah, that's, I mean, we can change that if you want. The statute doesn't describe how to do that. It just says 4-year terms, so
Mhm.
we can, if you want to stagger them somehow, we can do that. Although I will say that it was very difficult to get the people to
Yeah,
come forward, so.
Right.
we can probably, once the committee's established, figure out
Down the road.
down the road.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We
Well,
don't
and-
need to stagger.
Yeah, and if if someone leaves, obviously, you can start the next person on a 4-year term as well if you want,
right.
which would stagger.
That'll work. And it'll also give us a good amount of time to get things established.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to appoint Jason Campbell and Joseph Campbell on the livestock side, and Connie Anderson and Sue Greer on the conservation side of the Wolf Depredation Advisory Committee with terms ending 12/31/2029. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
Aye. Motion carries. Good. That's progress. Okay, we have consider approval of fiscal year 23 capital investment grant extension request South Gilliam County Cemetery District. And we also have 6.3 for the Port of Arlington for fiscal year 23. So those are the 2 considerations for grant extensions, which Let's begin with the cemetery. Have a briefing and a suggested motion.
They ever get their well drilled, or just kind of curious. But anyway, I don't know if they did or not. I know they were working on it eventually, but
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Let me just ask, is Brooklyn on the line? Does she have any information for us on their progress?
I think that I'm not sure what they ended up doing with the well, if they went through with that. That was the initial project, but I know that they did get their underground sprinkler system there in Condon I think it was September or October. And then they're still looking to do more improvements there in the Mayville and Condon cemeteries as per their original application.
Okay.
They have like 39,000 remaining. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm having,
Oh, I move to approve the extension request for the South Gilliam County Cemetery District for the year 23 capital investment grant to December 31st, 2026.
second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve South Gilliam County Cemetery District fiscal year 23 capital investment grant extension to December 31st, 2026. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, the former grade school project for the port. Do you have anything to report?
Just what was in
Okay.
what I said there in the packet, and it's run through Century Core.
Mhm.
So that's maybe a difference that should be noted in your motion or whatever, but the state and federal grants are rolling now. We had a internal kickoff meeting with Mel Foster and Alonji to do the environmental remediation. And all along, we obtained this county grant, kind of set it aside, hoping that state and federal would handle environmental, leaving those funds by the county for redevelopment. So that's still consistent with the purpose. It just takes a while for that federal process to play out. And that's why we asked for an extension. I know this is an older fiscal year 23, and you may desire to clean those up, but it's good to have that as a placeholder there for the future as the environmental gets completed.
Yeah, so the grant agreement is between Gilliam County and the Port of Arlington, so that's why.
Way back when we applied,
uh,
we identified that it could be either with the entity of the port or Century Core. And ultimately, the property then was conveyed from city of Condon to Century Core.
Right.
So that's who owns that property now, is Century Core. That's
So did
who
the
obtained
grant the Century Core, or did they go to the Port of Arlington?
they go to Century Core.
I wonder if we need to amend our grant agreement.
It could be, I mean, it is consistent with what we applied for.
Brooklyn?
I guess, what's the question? The current agreement is written through the Port of Arlington, but is Century Core just a subdivision of the Port of Arlington?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
nonprofit of the port.
So you guys are,
And no funds have been drawn yet, so.
yeah.
We could work through that.
Yeah,
and
we can-
figure out where, if we need to bring forward an amendment of some sort. You haven't drawn any funds, so it's just extending the agreement at this point that we currently have.
Right.
All right. There's a motion or further discussion?
I'm good.
I'll move to approve the extension request of the Port of Arlington. Do I need to name off that? Port of Arlington Environmental Century Corp. Or,
I think the current grant agreement we have is Port of Arlington Capital Investment Grant. We need to amend this.
fiscal year 23 capital investment grant to December 31st of 2026.
I will second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the extension request for Port of Arlington fiscal year 23 capital investment grant for December 31st, 2026. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
you know, when will this project be done? You know, end date?
They've, part of the remediation may be better suited in the summer,
Oh,
especially if they need to like remove stucco on the outside and just have warmer weather.
uh-huh.
So that's kind of the time frame now. We were hoping to have,
Summer of 26.
yeah, we were hoping to kind of get through that process, this past fall, but we didn't with the EPA process.
Okay. All right, and 6.4 is off the agenda because
Yep.
you have, we have allocated those funds for Alpine Ridge. So that one's off the agenda for the Port of Arlington.
Okay.
There's no extension required.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. 6.5, consider approval of right-of-way application for Oregon Telephone Corporation. There's a briefing in your packets. This looks like a standard telephone line right-of-way application signed off on by the road master and the planning director.
And this is like basically one telephone, right? There's rally.
Mhm.
The only thing I would comment is to make sure they're actually in the right of way and not on the side of the road.
Okay,
Because they kind of did that. Going out Sniption Canyon Lane.
with the fiber.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And I don't know why this is Oregon Telephone Corporation as opposed to, I don't know the difference between them and Rally Networks. But looks like a separate company to me. Cause it says it's
think
telephone.
they might own them, but I'm not positive about that.
Okay. It does say telephone cable lines, so,
Yeah,
all right.
but I know Dewey was aware of when they. Yeah, because the one map says Ferry Canyon Road, Rowley, net fiber right away map. Yeah, they dug up the, going out Sniption, they, instead of digging down in the ditch on the right of way, they dug on the side of the road in spots.
Yeah.
And that would not be good on their brand new paved road out there where they
Right.
just put the
Exactly.
shoulders in.
Right, and then, I would like to know too, if this is fiber, the application doesn't say fiber. This map says Rally Network, so,
Well, I wonder if it's because that's the closest thing, installation of telephone cable line. This is just a typical form.
yes. It's been approved by the parties, that need to approve it, do we need to do a little further checking on this application, or are we comfortable as it is?
I'm comfortable too, I just wanted to make sure they didn't
Okay,
dig where it was handy.
right, all right, so we have a motion.
I move to approve the right-of-way application from Oregon Telephone Corporation as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the right-of-way application for the Telephone Corporation as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Moving right along. Okay. We have the host fee agreement for waste management, and we have the host fee agreement for Chem Waste. Do you have any questions? Last meeting, we went over the conditions. This has been essentially a year-long process. As you know, there were things taken out that belonged in the planning conditional use permit. If you take the, this is a 33% increase from the original agreement. They shouldn't say the original agreement, the last agreement we had, approximately. Because we had at the CPI that comes in each year anyway, but if you go back to that 2016 agreement, it's a large increase. Between that and the taxes that will grow with the gas plant, I think we have a good partnership with Waste Management. They're our major employer of industry in our county. They came to us from Waste Management when Gilliam County needed an industry. It was at the time when, the family farms were going away. Ag was our base. And we need ag to continue to be our base, but we needed help. So, we have a 5% increase from the, last year's amount. We have 80% of the road, which is the way it always was, for maintenance of Cedar Springs Road. And we have the protection to the citizens that, they get, free dumping, but also addressed Waste Management's question about industry, taking advantage of that free dumping. So the way we worded was, up to 200 tons was always the way it was for a business to utilize that free dumping, but it's for small contractors, farms, and land clearing. Do you have any questions?
No, I just had to look up that one word
What word was it?
on 8.8, horse,
Oh,
however you say that word.
right.
How do you say it?
I think it's forced or active.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been following this a little bit too on the in-county exemption. We've utilized that in bidding the cleanup at the former Common Grade School. So the contractors are aware that we would get that benefit as a in-county entity. So I don't think anything changed there too much unless you just mentioned some clarified language. Just
Yeah, right.
want to make sure that's.
Yeah, it was some of these large companies that were doing things like wind parks.
Yeah.
That were taking a lot of space up, that when the agreement was originally, those types of industries didn't exist. So, it doesn't mean they can't, they just have to pay the rate.
Mhm. Yep. Thank you.
I don't have any questions. I'm good.
Waste management, and then we can go on to Kim Waste. This is a very unique agreement. We're very lucky to have it.
You got any questions, Commissioner Watkins? I'll move to approve the host fee and road maintenance agreement with Waste Management as presented.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the host fee and road use agreement with Waste Management. Would you, let's back up, and I'm gonna ask you to amend your motion
Okay.
and just say that it is a 10-year agreement.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, I will amend my motion. I move to approve the host fee and road maintenance agreement with Waste Management, which is 10 years as presented.
So it'd be December 2035.
Okay, okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the host fee and road maintenance agreement with Waste Management for 10 years as presented. Any further discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Whew, now on to something else. That was a lot of work over the last year. Oh. No, Waste Management has been great to work with. All right, so we have Kim Waste Agreement, which of course is a much smaller agreement, but they have obligations as well. There's also a 5% tipping fee increase, and it also includes the small road maintenance agreement as well. It's also a 10-year agreement.
I don't have any questions. I'm good with it.
Okay,
I'll move to approve the host fee and road maintenance agreement with chemical waste management
for 10 years.
for 10 years.
Okay. All right.
I will second the motion.
Should we say December 31st of 2035?
Sure.
Probably for clarification.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded to approve the host fee and road maintenance agreement with Chemical Waste Management for a 10-year agreement expiring December 31st, 2035. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Announcements. What do we have for announcements?
Well, I attended a CAPCO meeting and they're back up and rolling. So, and I did talk to Sabrina and she can help citizens that need help with filling out applications and different things if they need assistance with, utilities.
Okay.
So she said that she's capable of helping them through that process. Especially older folks that aren't as techy. There's quite a bit of information I think they have to fill out, send. And then I had a meeting with Aileen and she's on track to get her modernization plan done by the end of December when it was due, so. There was 3 different components to it and she's on track to get them all done. And then we're going to have our exit interview for the triennial review the end of December. So thankfully that's done. That's
Okay.
it.
All right.
Yeah, I met with Commissioner Jeff Wentholz from Morrow County and we discussed some things, possibly coming down the line with Korea and possible SIP funds expiring. Same thing meeting, we had our regular Korea meeting on the 12th. Just like, again, a lot of concerns, lack of power, lack of transmission, a lot of unknowns. And tomorrow I have a Norcor, we have a regular meeting, and then we have a workshop in the afternoon to try to make some decisions on the roof for the lease building down there. And then I think they're gonna look at a study that was done. Norcor, I think we're gonna discuss that some with the committee that was formed.
Mm-hmm.
They had go through and do evaluation and stuff last, gosh, I think it was 10 or 12 months ago. I lose track of time. The other thing I had is you guys received that email too from, looks like Daryl, our maintenance guy, did follow-up work at the industrial site. They had some lights and a fire hydrant. So they jumped all over that, and it sounds like they're work in progress on the pump and metering system for the well. So I thought they were done with that, but maybe I guess they're not quite. So, but I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay. The water, okay, just to make sure the water that is by contract with Kevin Hagwood is metered. Just that is.
Oh,
So
okay.
what he does is he is to take a picture of the meter each month and then get it to Nathan and then he bills. So if was that what you were referencing? Or
Well, he just said there was some pump house.
Oh, yeah.
Control systems and
Mhm.
water readout display, so I
Yeah,
didn't know if that was for the meter or if that was for the tank.
right.
But I mean,
Mhm.
they're working
Yeah.
on it,
Okay,
it looks like, so.
all right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do have one other thing. I was contacted by a couple other commissioners, Rob, Frank, Harney, and then Walter Chuck from Lincoln.
Mhm.
And they're real interested in trying to tour the landfill.
Oh,
possibly this spring sometime, so, I will get with Mr. Anderson
Good,
and see if I can coordinate that.
great,
Try to get that set up.
good,
Spring comes around.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure like I say, there's a lot of counties facing landfill decisions,
uh-huh,
so
right,
that's it, sorry.
good.
They're looking for it to be there.
Well, I don't know, I think they're just, I don't know if they're looking for a home or dollars or what, but they're very interested in.
Yeah.
You know, the discussions I've had with them, I don't know where our county would be right now without it, so
Right.
would not be good.
Couple of things, do we have any updates on the time streams request for Kelly nonprofit? No, okay. Will you find, it appeared they may have their, federal tax status, but could you check on that and then give us a recommendation?
So, yeah, because is Brooke still on there?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Cause what exactly did they send you?
The Times Journal,
Yeah.
I don't remember what.
Did they just send you their federal ID or did they send you their 501?
Let's see, I put. Thanks for the nonprofit name is the Oregon Frontier Journalism Institute and will be doing business as the Times Journal attached as the IRS determination letter. Oregon Secretary of State articles of incorporation and a draft of our bylaws. This was on November 5th. And it just says our work with Kelly Nonprofit will focus on the transition of the for-profit to nonprofit. Specifically support and guidance in the initial board meetings, dissolution of for-profit entity and transfer of assets to a nonprofit, and then engagement with tax professionals and attorneys as needed.
So they don't, so I'm gathering that they don't actually have they're working on their 501.
No, they do. They have their letter, their IRS determination letter and their article of incorporation.
Okay. So yeah, I think that was the only thing that was holding them up from working with them, wasn't it? Just whether or not they were a nonprofit group or not.
Okay,
But I can follow up with Steve on that.
yeah, as long as they qualify, then we can authorize the funds.
Okay.
And then the grain lab rent, I wanted to ask, it's ready to rent, we're clean, it's all repaired, but the utilities, we're told, are very expensive in there. So do we want to, when we negotiate a rent price, we want to include utilities? To have the renter pay the utilities. That's
So,
what happens here. There's a differential for rent here.
Okay. I mean, typically you'd have a base rent and let the tenant pay utilities.
Yeah.
so when you say expensive, I mean,
We would have to run the numbers. It's just, when Nathan Hammer was the manager of it, he said that the winter bills, ran high, that it isn't well insulated.
so was,
The electric heat in there?
We got the. Oh, yeah, there we go. Maybe that's the first project. I'm not asking for a decision,
Yeah.
it's just, we could go ahead and start marketing it. It's just, this might be an issue, and maybe we could ask you, Eli, for some help with it, maybe analyze the bills and see if there's some quick fixes we can come up with.
so it has its own separate meter and
I think.
everything, and, did you have a number in mind for possibly?
Well, the last time that it was discussed under the prior administration, it was pretty low, it's $1,000 a month. That was a while ago though, too.
Yeah,
Was that
When Arden Mills was considered.
yeah. So I'm guessing that heating system has been in there since they built the building.
Yeah,
Back,
right.
it's been there a while, so.
2000, before that. I don't remember either. Might have been.
Maybe before that.
It's been 25 years, hasn't
Oh,
it?
that
20
really?
or 25 years, because that was the covenant on it.
Was 25
20 or
years.
25 years, yeah.
Hmm.
05 or maybe 2000.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious now to see what.
You wanna know what the bills are?
Well, yeah, I'd be curious to see what our meter is, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's like, do we wanna go down the road to where we have. Them get the meter and, you know, if they move out or something, the meter turns off and then we have damage, or do we wanna
Yeah.
keep the meter in?
I'm worried about getting
Are-
around. I'll tell you the truth, look at this building. The county's renting in here.
Yeah,
Are we sure we're gonna get this rented? I've reached out to everyone I can think of just on word of mouth, and it might happen.
yeah,
Anyway. And things are happening, things are moving, we have some development. But, anyway, we'll get the numbers and then, see if Anya can send that to you.
Maybe Brookfield needs an office in between the two projects.
Mhm.
but it's ready to go, right? If
It's ready to
if
go.
Somebody comes, hey, I'm
Yep,
looking for a
it's
place,
ready.
it's like, oh,
We ran fiber to it,
okay,
it's ready to go.
yeah.
Mhm.
I guess I could say my only hesitation on the meter is the electric is. I don't know, I kind of feel like we should just maybe possibly build it in,
Mhm.
because I would hate to have somebody come in there and rent it, and maybe.
Yeah, build it in.
Maybe they're gonna do 12 months,
Okay.
maybe they're gone in 6 and they just, you know, leave and.
Okay,
I don't know, that's just my thoughts.
I
on it.
think,
I don't know.
I think that the power companies can't use,
Remote,
do the, I think landlords do this if their renter leaves and the electric bill just automatically reverts back to the landowner.
I guess that's my only concern, I'm just, yeah, I just don't wanna see the power cut off.
we'll do some more research on the cost and then have it built in.
I-
It sounds like
yeah.
maybe is the consensus, but.
It'd be better to have, I mean, I don't think we need to make a lot of money off of it.
No.
Would it be nice to have somebody in it just so that
Right.
it doesn't deteriorate
Exactly,
further. So-
right. I
The
agree.
water's coming from our,
Mhm.
the park.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. We'll work on that.
Okay.
The other is just to make you aware, the only appointment on the library board was one member. There's a statute about the library that says no person shall hold appointment as a member for more than 2 full consecutive terms, but any person may be appointed again to the board after an interval of 1 year. David Reiner and Tom Fatman have both served 2 terms, with the second term having expired on 6/30/25. So I think there's an outstanding position, correct?
Yes, you, in the
And
consent
that's-
agenda, you
Appointed
appointed one,
Yes,
and
okay,
then there's one open, yes.
okay. So we'll reach out to Mary and just ask for what her recommendation is on that. We did reach out to her, but we didn't hear of another recommendation, so. Okay, the other thing we're working on is House Bill 2089. This is foreclosed property. There was a court case, there was new legislation. Generally, the prior process that was used, which is a property is foreclosed upon and is deeded to the county. Now there's a requirement that the funds from the proceeds of the sale, once that county property is sold, that's been foreclosed upon, has to be accessible to the person who lost the property or their heirs. So,
Okay,
the law,
say that again.
okay, so it used to be a property could be sold as a sheriff's sale. And there were no requirements on the amount of the sale. Now there is under House Bill 2089. Let me just use the example of the 3 properties that we currently have. We have the Pamela Stark house, we have a property in Lone Rock, and we have the Skip Perry ground on Cottonwood. So those are the 3 properties that Gilliam County currently has that were foreclosed on and deeded to Gilliam County in October of 2023. These have been in a holding pattern until this House Bill 2028 was became effective, which was in September of 25, just a couple of months ago. Now what counties are doing is they're figuring out how to implement the statute, and I don't know if I got the actual statute, but in this example, the way the statute's written, in the example of these three properties, they fall under $250,000. If the property is over $250,000 in assessed value, then you have to have a realtor, I believe, appraise it. Or it doesn't fall within that. These are all under. So we have to do a high bid auction. But the starting bid has to be 2/3 of the real market value. So for example, on the start property, I think the real market value is like $80,000. The starting bid has to be 2/3 of that amount. Wasn't that 60,000, something like that? So let's say it doesn't sell. So let me back up a little bit. Washington County uses a live bid. So they have a procedure on this to auction the property through a live bid. And essentially it can be like a sheriff's sale. It can be on the courthouse steps, but it has to be auctioned with a minimum bid. So I reached out to legal counsel for help on how would we start this. That we can hang on to these properties, but that one is very, it's an eyesore. It's dilapidating. Let's get those properties back on the rolls if we can, as far as I'm concerned. If you agree.
Yeah, because 80,000 is kind of generous, actually.
Yes. So now if you go through the whole process and it doesn't sell the first try, then you can go back to taxes and costs on the second attempt on the auction. So you can do I've asked the attorney, can we do a sealed bid option? That's a potential. It has to be a public high bid auction. Is a sealed bid auction a public auction? I mean, I want to be able to throw out options for you on how we go about this with this new change of law.
So what was it about the heirs?
Oh, then once the proceeds, the sale, let's say the sale happens. Let's just use, for example, that property sold and we got $60,000 for it. Then those proceeds have to go to the Oregon State Treasury to be held so that the heirs can access them. They have to present a death certificate, proof of ownership, that they're the heir to the property. And this is because I believe the reason for this is that so that the county isn't profiting from someone's misfortune of losing their property. You see what I mean?
So do they reimburse the county for any
The costs
taxes?
come off the top.
Okay.
Taxes come off the top, costs come off the top, legal fees come off the top, administrative fees come off the top.
Okay.
Then it's the residual of the amount that's left over.
Okay.
And it's House, if you want to look at it, it's House Bill 2089, and AOC has a really, which I can have.
What was it? House Bill?
2089. AOC has a really good a synopsis of each section of the statute and what we do and what we can do with implementing the House bill. But it's just that it's in the very beginning stages. Our assessor put me in touch with a person from Clatsop County that knows a lot about it. So she gave me a lot of information on where to go, their interpretation of what the statute means. Legal counsel of all the counties are working on this. So
it sounds like they've just tried to go with a plan and complicated it
yeah,
more.
yes. Mhm.
Well, and I may be wrong, but I'm just thinking that, for instance, the Stark House, if we did that and then it went out and went to the heirs, and are we still just stuck with that ugly house there that?
Well, it's sold to someone. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
sold, it's just the proceeds.
Okay.
It's the amount that the county collected. Less all of our expenses, less legal fees, taxes, that those proceeds, residual proceeds have to be available to the person to claim. Yes.
So, we didn't discuss this obviously, because I have a question.
Mhm.
So then if the family doesn't come, the errors,
Mhm.
then does that money revert back to the county?
That's a legal question.
Oh,
I don't know, and I don't have it in front of me.
Cause you said that it has to go to the
Yeah,
state
right. Yeah. Mhm.
once it's done,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, I'm just thinking if some old bachelor guy dies and leaves his.
We retain it and it's earning interest. I believe we keep the proceeds. It's just the state is managing
Oh,
the
okay,
the process. No, what does the person have to prove in order to prove this is there?
Yeah, because I think the Skip Carry property has all kinds of issues with,
True, and I asked about the legal question, what happens to any potential liens or anything like that? They're cleared when it's foreclosed upon and deeded back to Gilliam County. But I don't know. Legal issues or other issues.
yeah.
And the property, when this happens, property is taken as is. It's the person's responsibility that bids on it to choose, whether or not to do so or not. So anyway, that's.
So we can do that with all three of those properties. Okay.
Yeah, I reached out to a local realtor, I reached out to somebody that's done auctions of property, but we need legal counsel to help us. Walk through the steps. On how we wanna do it. So that's coming soon, it's just basically this week project. And that's it. Okay, and then we have our Christmas gathering tomorrow night for the county. We sent out our Christmas card, which was the winner of the photo contest from the fair. It was that winter scene with the windmills in the back of the Longhorn.
It's a great
It was a good picture. And we have a housing meeting coming up. The end of January, the port, Pioneer CDC, both cities and the county and the director of housing to talk about housing solutions for us.
The 28th.
28th January, 26th at 5.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's all I have.
missed it by 2 weeks, sorry.
Sorry.
I know when we originally had that one housing meeting where you had it, Jed, we also had some people in the construction field. And a realtor too. But that's up to you.
Okay, all right, is there anything else for the good of the order?
The next Gilliam County Court meeting is the 7th at 10 a.m.
January 7th, in
Okay.
Condon. Thank you. All right, no further business, this meeting's adjourned.